Good thing is that we're joined now on the phone by our coronavirus local expert, Dr. Erika Hamilton, a microbiologist from UMass Amherst. Dr. Hamilton, thanks for giving us some time today.
Thank you for having me back.
No problem. You're always informative. So the first question comes from one of our viewers, goes as this. Why are some people asymptomatic and others are not?
When you look at people who have been infected by COVID, they kind of fall into three general categories. There's a small proportion who get the virus and never become ill. They're completely asymptomatic. There's another group who are asymptomatic for a while, and then they, after like 10 days of catching the virus, they end up with mild symptoms. And then there's this group that we all hear about where they get the virus and become critically ill and even die from it. And so the question does become, what's the difference? We do know that people who have underlying medical issues are more likely to become extremely ill from COVID. And if you have something like asthma or COPD, it kind of makes sense that a respiratory disease would make you more sick than someone who doesn't. The other thing that people have discovered, or researchers have discovered, is that the younger you are, the more likely you are to be asymptomatic. The thought behind this is that when you are first infected with COVID, it is infecting the cells in the back of your throat. And the younger you are and the more effective your immune system is, the more likely it is to keep that COVID only in the back of your throat and you only have mild symptoms. In some people, as they age, their immune system becomes somewhat less effective than it used to be. It can't keep the COVID in the back of the throat, and the COVID progresses down into the lungs and causes severe disease.
So a lot right there, just to unpack in general. So we'll move on here to number 2 from Lisa P. With warmer weather fast approaching, should we be worried about mosquitoes passing the coronavirus along to humans, kind of like with Zika or West Nile viruses?
Coronaviruses are not known to be able to survive inside of insects, and there are no known instances of any type of coronavirus being passed from a mosquito to a person, and this is true for SARS and MERS as well. Mm-hmm. There's a couple reasons for it. One is that unless you're very ill, coronavirus generally is not in your bloodstream, and if you're ill enough for it to be in your bloodstream, you're probably in a hospital and not where a mosquito is going to find you. And insects are pretty inhospitable places, and most viruses or bacteria that can live in an insect for any period of time are pretty sturdy ones, and they have probably evolved along with that insect vector in order to survive in it, because it's not the nicest place to live.
I'm sure that's reassuring then to most of our viewers, especially as that warm weather does get closer here. So here's a final question for you, and you may not have a specific answer for it, but how long do you think this will last before we're ever really safe again?
Actually, there is an answer to this. It's not a timeline, but we know that when a vaccine is safe and available to everybody, that's when we will be safe from this disease. People are working feverishly on making a vaccine, on coming up with better treatments for it, but it is like every other dangerous microorganism we've run into in the past, whether it's smallpox or diphtheria. It's when the vaccine has become readily available, people use it, then you become safe from the pathogen.
Okay, so that's something to look forward to. We keep hearing that's coming in 2021, and hopefully it's the right one then. Dr. Hamilton, thank you so much for the time today. Hope you continue to stay healthy, and we'll continue to hear much more from that expert right there, Dr. Erika Hamilton, a microbiologist at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. And we're just getting started here on coronavirus, getting answers. So keep tuning in, folks. Each weekday at 12:30, you'll hear from Dr. Hamilton and other experts in this field as this global pandemic no doubt continues.